Hello YouTube, it's been a while. I'm not quite out of the situation I was in, so I'm just going to explain why I've been away for so long. So basically, I was living in Tunbridge Wells, as you know. We got a nice 3-bedroom house. It was all going very well. It's very expensive, and we got a 3-bedroom thinking if we have another baby, then we've got all the room we need. We can sort of put some roots down. What I didn't envisage is it being as expensive as it was, so we kind of bit off a bit more we could chew. We obviously decided to scale down, so we got everything paid up with the landlord, and we're going to move to a 2-bedroom place, a bit more affordable. And literally on the day we were moving, unfortunately the move to the new place fell through, which meant obviously we were handing the keys back. We packed our stuff up, had nowhere to go, so we basically left kind of homeless. That was the deal. So now we're in this emergency accommodation. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no aerial for the telly. It's very, very basic, but it's perfect. I mean, the council, I can't thank them enough what they did in terms of giving us somewhere to stay, because obviously Logan needed somewhere. So I'm not complaining. The council were amazing, but that's the situation. So we've been holed up here. Now we are moving next week to our temporary accommodation and kind of getting back into normality. But with all of this happening, and obviously my mum passing away, and stuff that's been ongoing since I was a little kid, I've struggled with my mental health. It's something I've struggled with all my life, which is essentially has been now diagnosed as PTSD. So I have a lot of flashbacks and stuff when I sleep of some sort of strange times I had when I was little. So it's been really bad recently. So I've been signed off work by the doctor, and just kind of trying to get my brain back to where it needs to be. So excuses aside, I'm just kind of letting you know what's going on. Things are on the up. Looking to get back to work soon, and obviously when you get back to work you can start earning money again, and things will start to get back to normal. But just so you know where it is, because I was talking to a lot of my friends who I've made on this channel, I speak to on Discord, and I speak to you on WhatsApp and whatever else, and I explained what was going on, and they said, geez, you hide it so well on your channel. And my whole idea was to hide it on the channel. I wanted this channel to be fun. I do want the channel to be fun. I'm going to make one video about this, and that's that. But I do struggle a lot with depression and PTSD and not sleeping very well, and I get very anxious about sleeping because I do worry that the dreams and the flashbacks will come back. So that's what's been going on. That's the situation I'm in. I'm trying to sort of get through that with Lauren and Logan. So it's a little bit up in the air. As you know, the YouTuber, because I've not put the content up, they've taken away my adverts and the revenue and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking to get back in now. I'm going to do the odd little video. It's going to be very much like this. It's very handheld on my iPad. The sound won't be great and all that stuff, so I do apologise if the quality's gone down a little bit. We'll get back up once all my stuff's out of storage and I've got the lights and everything back up again. We'll get rolling. But today's video, what I want to talk about, now we've got that out of the way, is just a little theory video on. I don't know how to describe it. Really, it's not irking someone's mind. So when you're putting together a routine, it is to try and take away any element that will make the person kind of think that something's happened. Even if they didn't catch it, they'll just have that feeling. I think it's Tad, who's a good friend of mine over in Brazil, said you get a feeling that something happened, even if you didn't see it. And as soon as you get that feeling something's happened, you kind of you lose that that whole feeling of being being absorbed and immersed in the trick. So how do we get to that point? What do we look for to take away? What little moments are there? And they could be things like discrepancies with a double face, where it shouldn't look, when you do the Monty move, it doesn't quite look right. But there are ways around it. Now, stand-up Monty is the best example of this. Whenever I do something like wild card or anything else, there's just that moment where something doesn't quite make sense in your head. The spectator goes, it's something in their head. There's just something back here that says something happened. My best way to describe this feeling, is if you were going to a pub or a bar, wherever you're from, like if you're in England, you go to a pub and they've got karaoke, like a karaoke night on. If you walk in and the singer's really good, the one who's singing, you don't notice the singer. You just go in and you notice the entire ambience of the whole pub. You notice there's music playing, there's it's nice and warm, the bar looks nice, it smells good. You just get the feeling of the whole thing just kind of hits you and nothing stands out. It's all good. But you go into that same pub, and all you'll think about when you go into a pub and there's a good singer on and everything else is you'll go, this looks great, I'm going to get a drink, what do I want, I'll have a pint. That's what's in your head. You just take it all in, it's all great, nothing bothers you, and you go straight to the bar. If, on the other hand, you walk in and there's a terrible singer on, that's all that you'll notice. You walk in and straight away you'll notice the singer, you'll notice it's karaoke night, and you'll be like, oh shit, people notice when things are bad, not when things are good. Okay, so if there's a moment in your magic that is bad, that is basically that singer, it stops people looking at the whole, and they just look away from everything and they direct their attention at what is bad. So the key now is to take out the elements in your magic that cause that to happen. And it's a mixture of many things. It's obviously getting your technique up to scratch. I want to give you an example with a trick in a second, but get your technique up to scratch. If there are indiscrepancies, like I say, when you do stand-up Monty, if you ever perform this effect by Garrett Thomas, there are like a huge amount of indiscrepancies in the effect, but the way it's routined and the way you present it keeps people looking at the whole. They're not just sort of zeroed in on this one move where something happens. It's just you're just being very casual and presenting it in such a way where people are looking at everything, what you're saying, how you're standing, what you're doing, this person. They're not just following the cards and trying to catch all the moves out. And that's where you can disguise those discrepancies and disguise those little moments. But it's something to really look out for in your magic, because you'll get people going, oh, it was really good, and then when you go, they will then say, yeah, but there's that little moment there, I thought I saw. You want to get rid of those. You don't want them to say things like, oh, I saw that, or I have an idea about that. So we're going to do a bit of magic with my first deck, which was sent to me by Frederick. It's obviously Chris Ramsey's deck, very, very cool. Just to talk about discrepancy moves and how you can get rid of them, okay? Alright, so we're going for the old sofa angle because I haven't got my stand. So when I'm doing reset, this is an effect that has got a real discrepancy moment in it. So let's just get the cards I need for this. And it comes right at the beginning, where you have to do the count. Alright, so you're going to show the kings and the aces. I think that's everything. Yeah. At the beginning, you do this thing where you have to do ace, 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 or king, 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 and put them aside. And in that, the dodgy stuff happens. And there's a real, people panic about doing this trick because they try to get this rhythm perfect. They try and get, so 4 kings, 4 aces, and you say, you've got to sort of go king, 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 and put them down. And in that moment, you do some really like dodgy stuff. I'm not going to give away the actual technique on this. I will be teaching you soon. So what I'm talking about here is in when you're trying to get rid of those irking moments, if you just practice technique, I mean, you do need to have technique obviously, but if you just practice the technique, you're always going to be fearful that you need to have this thing perfectly smooth because you're doing it really like, watch this, I'm just going to show you king, 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 and put them down. Okay, so what I come up with was just a reason to show the kings and a reason to not do it in a rhythm, so that, you know, if there is a moment where you have to steal something back or do something, you haven't got to worry about that rhythm being interrupted. You interrupt it with a different reason. In this case, I say to people, I'll give each of you a job. So you here, you'll be croupier, you're sat opposite me. Over here, you'll be my opponents. You'll be the pit boss, you'll be the eye in the sky. You've got to look down, you've got like loads of angles. Pit boss, if I cheat, you throw me out, obviously. Don't throw me out, I'm going to cheat, that's what I'm paid to do, but that's your job. And what I've done now is I've taken the heat being on me and put it on everyone else. So now he's thinking, well, I've got to watch him. He's thinking, I'm the eye in the sky. These guys are my opponents, they're thinking. You just give them other stuff to think about. All right, so what you do now is we give the croupier, I say to the croupier, listen, you must know the names of all these cards, right? You're the croupier, you deal cards for a living, you must know the names of these cards. And what I'm doing now is I'm giving them something to worry about. You know, everyone's now looking at them to get the names of these cards right. They're not looking at me to count these cards in a smooth rhythm. So I say, look, this one here is the king of diamonds, very good, and this one here, spades, very good, the easy one. Hearts, and don't say trees. Clubs, all right, perfect, and they put them down. Now in that action, what I've done is obviously I've done the move where I can then get on with the trick, but I've broken it I've broken the rhythm on purpose, so I don't have to have this rhythm perfect and worry about a card catching or me not being able to steal something back or anything else. I've just done it in a way where I'm just having a bit of fun with them, but also putting the focus on the person to say, you know the names of these cards, right? And some people say blueberries, blackberries when they say the clubs, and some people get spades and clubs mixed up. It's just, you put all the attention on them and everyone's watching them to get it right, and you can have a laugh. And in that whole action, obviously now you have 3 cards here, you've got 5 cards here, you've done all the stuff you need to do, but it's done in a way where it doesn't look odd. You know, you don't have to worry about that little, when you count those cards, it did seem a little bit forced, a little bit odd. Because just counting them, it makes no sense. But to show the person one at a time, get them to name the cards, suddenly you have a reason to sort of break this up and go, this one is the king of diamonds, very good. Spades, of course, and the easy one, hearts, and don't say trees. You know, you sort of break up this rhythm. You've still got to have it nice. You still need to do the moves, but it allows you to do your moves with a reason behind doing something that is a little bit strange, like a false count. All right. I hope that made sense. It's just a case of thinking about your magic, thinking about, rather than just saying, right, I learnt this trick and I have to do this false count, and it has to be perfectly, the rhythm has to be right so no one notices any moves are happening as I'm doing the count. Rather than, you know, putting yourself under that sort of pressure, try and find a way of using presentation and what essentially is a justification for showing the 4 kings. You know, otherwise you would just sort of spread them across and put them down. You know, you need a reason to be able to do these moves. So try and think outside the box when it comes to these little moments, you know, that and that will fly by everyone, because the trick hasn't even started yet. You've just asked them if they know the names of the cards. Of course, they're a king, hold on to them. Now the trick starts and you're miles ahead. Just by switching the heat. The heat's on me, or I can put the heat on you, or you can do it in a way where you're talking about psychology of the trick. So with stand-up Monty, I don't actually say I'm going to do the trick to you. I'm just saying that this is, in this way Garrett Tom presents it, I'm just going to show you what they do and how they use psychology to, I studied this at college and all this stuff I say, and the psychology behind it is incredible, you know, and let me just show you the psychology. So again, you're now doing the moves without the heat of being caught. You're just saying this is what they do. So when they hand you an ace, and obviously have the 2 cards here, and then the card turns into, and it's done in a way where people aren't watching you doing it, because you're not actually claiming to do it. You're just saying this is what they do, and it disarms people. It kind of they're not watching you to do the move. You're just demonstrating the psychology behind what they do, and it really heightens the effect because they're really into it. Now you explain about splitting the crowd, doing the 50-50 section. You talk about how they let the first person win, so that, you know, it's called building a crowd, and you let them in on all these little secrets, and they're really involved in the presentation, and when the cards start changing in their hands, they're almost not looking to see how you did it. They're just amazed that this is how the thing works. So just have a little think. I just wanted to put something up, you know, and I think this is quite an important point. I did it today. I did both tricks today at a gig, hence the whistle, and it was fun, you know. It was really, really good. I had quite a big crowd. I was at a wedding, and rather than going around like I normally do, there was like 3 big groups of people, because by the time I got there, everyone had dinner already, and so we're just hanging out. And I thought I'd be doing groups of 3 and 4, and it was actually like 20 there, 20 there, 20 there. So it was really nice. So I had a chance to try out some of these techniques, which is why I wanted to talk to you about them tonight. So I hope I'm not waffling. I just wanted to get the point across that don't feel like if something's a little bit that you have to just keep working at it until you can do it so like smooth, but then still in the back of your mind you're worrying like, oh, you know, am I going to mess this up? I see a lot of people, they don't do certain tricks because there's a little bit in there that they're just scared of messing up, so they don't do it. Like there's a pass in this bit, so I won't do the trick because I'm not comfortable with the pass yet. I'm not going to do stand-up Monty yet because I'm not quite comfortable with, you know, you need to be, you know, have the technique, but it's also really nice just to, you know, learn the trick, but then think about every section of it. Think about how maybe you can make it fit your personality. Think about how you can use your common sense, your the way you present, the way you talk, the way you the interests you have. If you're into heavy rock music, there'll be a way of talking about what you know in correlation with the trick. There always is, you know. Doesn't have to be true. You just have to believe it and know what you're talking about. Oh, that's the video. I want this to be an open discussion. So rather than doing a video where I just say this is the theory and go for it, I want it to be an open discussion. So in the comments, I'd really like you to leave examples, if you have them, of moments in your Magic that you're not quite happy with. Hopefully as a community we can sort of come up with ideas and ways to sort of get around that. I've got another example of this as well, which I do on the invisible card trick as well. So again, I'll talk about this in the comments. So leave as many comments as you can. Obviously, if you're like top of your game and you've been professional for 20 years, you probably won't have many of these moments because you would have worked them out. What I like about this channel, I feel, is that it really has a nice broad range of professionals, beginners, amateurs, all the whole range of Magic. So if you are on here and you've got the experience, you've done it for many years, give some advice to the guys in the comments who are just starting out and maybe do find these moments quite difficult. And if there's a way that you have where you get around a false count or some sort of move that's always a little bit worrying for people to do. I've gone over the pass in the previous video, so we know about the offbeat and all stuff for that. But anything problem you have or any worry you have in your Magic, please drop it in the comments below. And if you guys are able to answer it or offer some advice, please drop it in the comments below. I want this to be an open discussion. I want this to be comments. I will be answering every single comment that is put on this, and hopefully you guys will still be around in a couple of weeks' time when I get the channel up and running again. In the meantime, yeah, drop a comment, drop a like, and all that good stuff, and I will see you for the next one. Big love.